Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my versus video between the Nike KD14 and the Air Jordan 36. And I absolutely love playing in both of these shoes. These are top tier performers. So basically you can't go wrong with either of these shoes, if you choose to buy them. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. The KD14 is going for 150 bucks. The Jordan 36, on the other hand, is going for 185 bucks. So $35 more than the KD14. And that's a pretty big price difference. So again, links are below if you guys do want to cop. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And if you're playing on a clean court, both of these shoes are freaking amazing. Like, great bite, a very, very hard stop, and a very high-pitched squeak as well. I don't know why, but I really like to have a squeak in my shoes. So clean court, you're gonna be good to go. If you're playing on a dusty setting, the KD14 I feel like is better. It picks up dust a lot less frequently, and also the wipe is very easy as well here on the KD14. Here in the Jordan 36, it still wasn't a huge issue, but it picked it up a lot more frequently, and also it's a little bit harder to wipe off. Not terribly hard, but still, you still have to wipe a little bit compared to the KD14. So if you're playing on a dusty court, the KD14 is going to be the better option. Like I said, the 36 isn't terrible on dust, just you're gonna have to remember to wipe. If you're playing on an outdoor setting, I feel like the Jordan 36 might even be a little bit better. The KD14, these grooves are pretty soft, and also they're very, very thin. So I did play a couple of games outdoors, and the rubber is ripping off a little bit. Here in the Jordan 36, I did not play outdoors, so just take it with a grain of salt, but the grooves seem a little bit harder and also a little bit thicker, and also there are a lot more grooves, right? So more surface area means better durability for the outsole. So if you're gonna play on the outdoor court, I feel like 36 will be a little bit better. I don't know why you would want to though, because this is $185, but I guess at the end of the day, it is a little bit better for durability. But anyways, the overall better performer for the outsole is the KD14, although the Jordan 36 is still really, really good. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. They're both pretty damn smooth, right? So the KD14, I would say, is a little bit smoother just because of the forefoot flex here, right? So here in the heel, we have a pretty curved shape, nothing crazy, but this full length cushion, or I guess just a cushion line here in the heel, you get a good amount of compression, so it doesn't feel clunky at all here in the heel. We have a nice curved shape here in the forefoot and a lot of forefoot flex, right? Super flexible. The Jordan 36, on the other hand, we have a nice curved shape and also a fully exposed midsole, so it doesn't feel clunky at all here in the heel either. Here in the forefoot, we have a very curved shape, but the forefoot flex, there still is a little bit of forefoot flex, but it's definitely more stiff than the KD14. So it all depends on what type of feel you want, right? So the Jordan 36, because of that kind of stiffer forefoot, it's a little bit hard to bend, but you get that propulsion a little bit, right? When you're running down the court or kind of like out of the first step. Here in the KD14, it just feels a little bit more fluid when you're walking around or also like running down the court. So it all depends on what you feel. I'm not saying one's better than the other. In my personal preference, what I like is the KD14. I like to have a little bit more of a flexible, more fluid, kind of like sole in my shoes, but that's just me. If you try like the Jordan 34 or the 35, and you like kind of like that stiffer type of sole, then the 36 is going to be the better option. All right, as far as the cushioning setup goes, it's very, very similar, so we got full length zoom strobe units in both of the shoes, the Jordan 36 as well as here in the KD14. The KD14, you can basically see the zoom strobe unit right underneath the insole. The Jordan 36, on the other hand, there is a little bit of a cloth on top of it, but it doesn't really do anything, I feel like, as far as the overall feel goes. But for some reason, the Jordan 36 is a little bit easier to feel like right underneath your foot. I don't know why. Maybe that PSI is higher or something, or maybe the zoom strobe unit is a little bit thicker, but it's a little bit easier to feel here in the Jordan 36. But it's more just me being nitpicky right now, just because I'm doing a comparison between both of these shoes. They both feel super bouncy. You feel a good amount of compression right underneath your foot. The insoles, they're basically the same. It's like a very thin plastic material for some reason. And then as far as the foam goes, we have full length cushion line here in the KD14, which is very soft, especially when you get it at first. So it might feel a little mushy at first, but as you guys all know, cushion line bottoms out very quickly. So it's not going to be a huge issue if you think it's a little too soft at first. It'll definitely stiffen up. The Jordan 36, on the other hand, we have, I'm guessing, just a Phylon, but there is a little bit of compression, especially here in the heel. It feels nice. It doesn't feel stiff at all. I would definitely say the KD14 has a little bit more compression in the heel though. And also another difference is that the KD14 has just slightly better court feel. And when I was testing both of these, like I had the KD14 on both of my feet, and then I switched out of them and then played in the 36. I couldn't really tell too much of a difference between the court feel, but when I put the KD14 on one foot and the Jordan 36 on the other, I can definitely feel the KD14 feeling a little bit lower to the ground. And like I said, it's not a huge difference, and it's just me being nitpicky because I am doing a comparison between both of these shoes, but it's a little bit lower to the ground here in the KD14. So basically, they both feel very nice, super bouncy with the Zoom Strobel units, a good amount of compression from the foam, and especially here in the heel in both of the shoes. The KD14 is a little bit softer, and also you're a little bit lower to the ground in the KD14. Jordan 36 is still super nice though. The overall feeling is very similar. There's just very minor differences between the cushioning setups for both of these shoes. All right, moving on to the material. So the KD14 for 150 bucks, it's not a great quality material, but it's really, really thin, right? And it feels great on foot. There's pretty much no break-in time needed. It feels comfortable and all that, super minimal. We have this midfoot strap, which I hate, but what are you gonna do about it, I guess? And maybe I'll try cutting it off, but aesthetically, I don't think that would be the best, right? For the tongue is pretty well padded, and then the ankle area, we have an average amount of padding, I would say, so it feels nice and cozy here in the KD14. So it feels super nice. Quality isn't the best. Here in the Jordan 36, we got linen weave, and linen weave is extremely thin. It's even thinner than the KD14, and the KD14 is really, really thin, right? But on foot, I would say you don't really notice all too much of a difference. I definitely feel like the 36, you can feel it being a little bit more like thin, but not a huge difference. Like I said, it is see-through, which is really cool. As far as the tongue goes, I would say has a little bit less foam than the KD14, just a tiny bit. And then for the ankle area, I would say the KD14 actually has a little bit more padding. So I don't know, for me personally, I feel like I like the KD14 materials a little bit better, just because it's still thin here in the forefoot, so I don't really have any issues with that. But I do like the cozy feeling that you get from the extra foam here in the ankle area as well as here in the tongue. If you want a little bit less padding and you want the overall materials to feel a little bit more minimal, then you can go with the 36. But in my personal opinion, I like the KD14 a little bit better. All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size for both of these shoes, and they both fit me extremely well. They're very, very snug fits. So here in the KD14, it's really snug, really, really snug actually. Here in the toe box, especially at first, your feet might even lose a little bit of blood flow. But once you break in the material, it stretches out a little bit, and it's just a perfect fit for me. Lengthwise, like I said, true to size, both of them were good. And then widthwise, slightly narrow. Here in the Jordan 36, same thing, very, very snug here in the toe box. Doesn't really stretch out all too much, maybe a little bit for the lino weave, and then also slightly narrow for the width as well. So for me, very, very nice fits. If you don't like that, then obviously go up half a size. And if you have a super wide foot or you like to have a really roomy fit, go up a full size. All right, moving on to the support and lockdown. I had no issues with support or lockdown in both of these shoes, right? So for lateral containment, the KD14 is really good. We got the foam coming up. We got this midfoot plastic piece for lateral containment and an internal TPU heel counter. The Jordan 36, same thing. We got the foam coming up a lot. We have an internal TPU heel counter as well. So for lateral containment, you're gonna be good to go in both of these shoes. Lateral stability, let's see which shoe is wider. I would say they're pretty much the same width. So lateral stability, I really had no issues in either of these shoes. And as far as the ankle support, there's really none. Like if you look at the Jordan 36, it's pretty high. The KD14 is a little bit lower. They both go over your ankle bone. So they're not lows obviously, but they're both pretty soft materials. So I didn't really feel all too much ankle support in both of these shoes. So yeah, ankle support isn't very good in both of them. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. I feel like they're gonna be around the same, right? So KD14 is 12.59 or basically 12.6 ounces. The Jordan 36 is 11.85 ounces. All right, so the Jordan 36 is definitely a little bit lighter. That's kind of a surprise. I feel like they feel pretty similar in weight when I have both of the shoes on. I guess, the strap definitely does add weight, and I guess the overall material, like I said, there's less foam. and the material is a lot thinner here in 36. So I guess that does make sense. Which shoe feels more responsive? They're both super responsive. You're gonna feel very quick. I mean, the support and lockdown in both of the shoes is really good. Cushion, you feel responsive with that bounce and the zoom in it. Traction in both of the shoes is really good as well. So when you're playing them, yeah, you're really not gonna notice any type of like lag or anything. I guess besides a little bit of lag from the Zoom Strobel unit, but in my opinion, I don't think that's too much. Some people might think so, but for me, I don't really think so. So yeah, I feel really quick in both of the shoes when I'm playing them. As far as the ventilation goes, 36 is really well ventilated, as you guys can tell. So there's the ventilation there. As far as the aesthetics go, yeah, definitely the Jordan 36 looks way better in my opinion. The KD14, still not a huge fan, you know. It's growing on me a little bit though, but still, I mean, like, I don't think there's any dope colorways that have come out besides the Dream colorway. So anyways, tell us what you guys think looks better down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, in my opinion, I just like playing in the KD14 just a little bit better. You know, the traction is a little bit better, especially on dust. Cushion, it's a little bit lower to the ground. I also like the compression from the Cushlon. And also, like I said, I like the cozier feeling here in the ankle area. And also here in the KD14, I like the more flexible sole, right? So they are very minor differences, but you know, they are differences. And like I said, I like playing in the KD14 just a tiny bit better. Jordan 36 is still really nice, and like I said, if you like a stiffer sole and you like less padding in your shoe, then the Jordan 36 is the better option. Is it worth $35 more though than the KD14? I don't think so, as far as the overall performance goes, but it's still a really nice shoe nonetheless, and they're both really nice. Anyways, that about wraps up this versus video. Again, if you guys want to cop either of these shoes, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.